Okay, Jim, well, first of all, just how big a game is this against St Mirren this weekend, given your quest for European football this season?
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're all big games now at this stage, and of course we're still hurting after the last couple of results against Celtic and Hibs, so we want to try and get back to winning ways. We want to do that, as quickly as possible against a really difficult opponent in St Mirren, who are on a great run themselves. You know exactly what you're going to get from Stephen Robinson's team in terms of the physicality, the fitness levels, and you're going to be in a battle. So we've managed those situations really well in the previous fixtures against them, and I'm pretty sure that'll be part of Stephen's team talk as well, because we've beaten them 4 times this season already, and kept 4 clean sheets in all of those occasions. So we're going to have to defend properly, which is something that we haven't done recently, particularly last Saturday against Hibs. We really caused a lot of our own problems, and that's something that we've talked about, and hopefully we'll iron out those mistakes and give a better account of ourselves this weekend.
And it's so important, isn't it, where you finish in the league this season in terms of that European position, and you'll be hoping to do everything you can to finish as high as you can.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, a win on Saturday would guarantee 5th place for us. It would be put us 8 points ahead of St Mirren with a couple of games to go, so that would be fantastic if we were sitting in that position come 5 o'clock Saturday evening, and still on the coattails of Aberdeen and Hibs. But look, we've had a really good season. Obviously there's a lot of disappointment about with the last couple of results, but I'm pleased with what we've done up to now to put ourselves in this position, and top 6 was probably above most people's expectations for this group this season, and we achieved that. But of course we don't want, I keep saying it every week, but we don't want the season just to fizzle out. We want to try and pick up as many points as we can between now and the end of the season, and that starts against St Mirren. If the result goes the other way, and I'm pretty sure that's what Stephen Robinson's message will be to his players, if they were to win the game, then obviously that points difference is narrowed down to 2 points. So the onus is on us, being the home team, to go and try and get the result, and that's what we're going to do.
What would it mean to you if you can secure European football this season, given last season in the Championship bringing United up, and then if you could secure Europe in the first season back in the Premiership, what would it mean?
Well, I think it would be a great achievement for everyone at the club. There's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes as well. Obviously the players receive a lot of the plaudits because they're the ones who are going out there and performing every week and winning games. I think the season as a whole has been really, really positive, but European football would just be the icing on the cake, to be perfectly honest. It's something that a lot of the group haven't done before. Financially, obviously, everybody knows that the prize money can make a significant difference, especially when you're going into the summer transfer window. So with regards to budgets and everything else like that, it would play a real key part. So we're not there. We've never assumed for one moment that we were. We always knew it was going to be a fight right till the end, and we're very much in it.
And in the background, of course, you have contract talks, I assume, going on as well. Glenn Middleton's one who said he would like to stay on. Is he one that you're looking to offer a new contract to?
Yeah, I think Glenn has had a really good season. He's been very consistent in the main, and he knows my feelings about him. I think he's developed continuously over the last couple of seasons, and he had injury issues the 3 seasons ago where he couldn't get a consecutive run in the team. But the last couple of years he's played pretty much all of the games for me, barring 1 or 2 where we've changed system a little bit. But his goals, contributions in terms of assists, has been very, very productive, and that's what you look for from your forward players. He's got pace, he's got energy, he's got great delivery from the wide areas, and he's one that I think has still got further development left in him. So hopefully, we can sit down with Glenn and his representatives and hopefully get him to commit to Dundee United again for next season.
And I was speaking to Ross Docherty earlier. He's obviously one who's had a bit of a mixed season with his injury, but he's come back again and showing what he can do. I mean, his contract's obviously up as well. Is he one that you're looking to keep, or what's the situation?
Yeah, I mean, Doc, I brought Doc in, going into the championship season and made him club captain. He's unfortunate in terms of how the last couple of seasons have panned out for him with regards to his injury issues. His availability hasn't been what any of us would have wanted over those couple of years, but at the same time, prior to us securing the top six, we had 3 massive games, and Ross played a really significant role in helping us get the 3 victories, to secure that top 6. So we all know when he's fit and he's available, he's very influential. But Ross knows the situation also, that we'll sit down with him at the end of the season, and we'll have the conversations that we need to have. So those talks still remain to be had.
And you must be delighted to see Miller Thompson with Falkirk winning another championship title. I mean, how great experience is that for him to be part of that again, as you put him out obviously on loan to develop him and get him more used to the football at that sort of level? Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of interest in Miller, prior to the window closing in the summer. He had a terrific start to the campaign for us actually, and was very much a part of my plans going forward. But then, with the squad, the way that it was balancing out, we felt that it was in Miller's best interests to go and get regular football somewhere. Now, there's a number of clubs interested, but when John McGlynn phoned me, it was a no-brainer as far as we were concerned. I've got the utmost respect for John as a coach. I really felt that Falkirk were capable of getting back-to-back promotions. I didn't, wasn't convinced that they would have enough to win the league, but I did believe they would get playoffs and be in the mix. And I think what John has done is remarkable, and hence why he's been talked about among the managers of the season, and rightly so. But that was part of the conversation with Miller. It was go out to a good manager that you can continue to develop under and learn from, and be a part of another successful team, and that's exactly what he's done. So that's back-to-back promotions for Miller. He played a really important part. I know he would have liked a little bit more game time than what he got, but at the same time, the reports back from those games that he was involved in were very, very positive. And I think that's across the board in terms of all the loans that we had with some of the younger players. Owen Sturton at Montrose played a lot of games, scored a number of goals. Rudy Adams out of Kelty. All these players off the back of these loans have been called in to the Scottish setup and had international recognition as well, which is fantastic for raising their own profiles, but also for their development at this early part of their career. And in terms of strengthening your squad for next season, is that a case of waiting to see, whether you'll be playing European football, or do you have to sort of hold off on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got the owner is over next week, and we'll sit down and have a conversation with regards to what the recruitment strategy is going to be, what the budget looks like. But of course we'll have a clearer indication as to what that budget will be once we know exactly where we're going to be in the league. As I said, the European money is quite significant, and that would make a huge difference with regards to the players that we might be able to attract. And just how's your team news going into the game? Similar to every other team out there, I think, at this moment in time. Lots of bumps and bruises, lots of aches and pains, but the players know what's at stake, they know what's on the line. A number of them playing through the pain barrier right now, but the only kind of absentee that we will have, I think, hopefully at this point, is Ross Graham. Everybody else, touch wood, should be okay. And Ross, he's out for the rest of the season, is that? Yeah, it's looking like that. I mean, we don't want to risk a reoccurrence of this injury. It's the second time now that it's happened, and we have to be sensible in our approach to that, albeit Ross is a really important player for us, and we've certainly missed him in the back line, but we're trying to be pragmatic with the approach for him, making sure that he's ready and got a clean bill of health come the start of the pre-season.